Dan Moskal here, and in this video we're looking at MailChimp. MailChimp is an autoresponder email marketing service, and this is kind of how it works. Essentially, MailChimp is how you put these little web forms on your website so people can give you their email address at whatever and get, if you're offering a free email marketing strategy guide like this, you can sign up for it free just by doing that. Um, there's some Let's start with some of the good things about MailChimp is perfect for someone that's new or has a relatively smaller advertising budget because MailChimp will provide you a free account. And there's a couple little catches to this. Um, it has to be less than 2,000 subscribers, and you can only send 12,000 emails per month. You say 12,000, that sounds like a lot, but in reality, if you have 2,000 subscribers, that's really only sending, 6 emails, because every one of those, 6 times 2 equals 12,000, if that makes sense. Either way, it's still a very reasonable fee, $10, and then it goes up to $15. Only when you're really looking at huge, massive lists do you have some real expenses. Because if you're not generating $20 off of a list of over 1,000 people, you really need to go in and change and look at some of the ways you're using email marketing. But let's go ahead and look at MailChimp. If you have some income you're generating from your website, I would encourage you to explore some other options. Just my only complaints about MailChimps are two things, and two of these things are pretty big things, really. So here's the first thing that I hope MailChimp changes, because if they change this one little thing, they will make things so much better. And I would definitely switch back. I'm currently no longer using MailChimp, but this is called your web form or your sign up form or your opt-in form. And one of the drawbacks to MailChimp is they don't provide you very easy customization options. And let's go ahead and look at theirs just to give you a full idea. It's actually underneath your lists, and we're going to go ahead and just pull this up right here. So it's your sign up forms. Now there's a couple different ways. There's 5 different ways. I think some of these things are overdoing it a little bit. There's so many options now when it comes, and not just MailChimp. I'm not saying anything bad about MailChimp. I think MailChimp is a great service to use, especially to start building a list and start getting exposed to email marketing and how best to do it and some of your goals and stuff. Really, and one of the neat things about MailChimp is they offer you a little email sign up that you can put on your Facebook business page, which is kind of neat because now we can collect people's email address and their name and last name if they want, using Facebook and on Facebook. Like, this is not on our website, which is one of the cooler, neater features I've seen many email marketing services provide. MailChimp does it very easy. But let's go ahead and just look at a general form. Now here's our form. Starts out this way, and you can obviously go through here and it looks like you can customize everything. Here's some more of the design stuff. The only issues, my only complaints, is it's just not very user friendly. And let me go ahead and just pull up Aweber. Aweber is who we've used really since 2006, and I just want to compare it just so you can see the design interface and see how the two of them can change. Now Aweber is going to be a little bit more expensive, but I personally find it more than worth it. And just to get an idea of some of the design changes, so we have the let's go ahead and just, you don't have to use Aweber, but this is my only complaint about MailChimp is they don't really provide you, like, here are a bunch of different templates. This is looking at Aweber, by the way, But Aweber gives you, I mean, you can do anything you want. You can upload images to be your background very easily, and there might be some ways. I can't imagine that MailChimp doesn't offer these same options. I just haven't been able to figure it out, and I've invested a ton of time into looking at MailChimp, and I haven't been able to figure out how to actually make it easy to customize your web form. The other big drawback, I'm really not saying anything bad about MailChimp. I think MailChimp's a great thing to get started with, and I would encourage you, if you're new or if you have a small budget or no budget, then definitely use MailChimp. It's free. You can start a free account, and even if let's assume you have 2,000 subscribers, you can still communicate with them. That's more than once a week. You could still send them an email for free. That one email could generate enough money for you to justify $10 or $20, so you could send them more than one email a week or communicate with them more than 6 times a month. The other big thing, so listen, this is the way it really works. Let's say you have 100 people visiting your website on a daily basis, and let's even bump it up. Let's say you have 1,000 people visiting your website. Now, one of the important things, this is direct marketing, direct advertising. So of these 1,000 website visitors, there's only going to be a small percentage of them that say, yes, I want your email marketing strategy guide for free. Here's my email at gmail.com. Submit, let me have your thing. Now, one of the neat things Aweber does, and I don't know if some other services do this, I can't imagine they wouldn't because it's such an important thing, is testing your web form, your sign up form. So look, Aweber will create this cool little thing, and I'm really not, I think a lot of services offer this other than just Aweber, so don't take this the wrong way. Split test your sign up forms. Now I can go in and I can split these. I could say, 50% of the traffic goes to this web form, and then the other 50% goes to this web form. And then all we have to do is click Save Split Test, and they'll give us the code. This is the same code we pasted in to put any one of those forms in, but this code right here will split 2 different web forms. So it'll test this web form versus, and I could be getting these mixed up, which specific web form, versus this web form. The idea is that it'll split test it, and it'll tell you and determine which web form converts into more signups. And the size of your list is one of the most important indicators of how much money and income you can withdraw and pull out from your list. Like, you want a bigger list. You want more and more people to sign up for your list. And let's just look at some numbers real quick. Let's just say you have 1,000 visitors to your website, or that see your marketing message every day. Now, you may only have 10 visitors. That's fine. But let's just for numbers' sake, we have 1,000 visitors. Let's say this one web form converts at a 0.01%. So 1% of those people will result in 10 people added to your list every day. Over the course of a month, what is that? 300 people. Over the course of a year, we're talking about 3,600 people. So let's use the same example. Let's say we split tested and we found a web form that converts at 2%. That's twice as good. So that means we have 20 leads every single day. And then over the course of a month, that's 600 leads. Over the course of a year, we're talking about 7,200 leads versus, what was half of that? Versus 3,600. That's huge differences, massive differences. And then when you start looking at email marketing, I mean, really, your email marketing messages, let's go crazy here. And let's say you have 7,000 people. Let's say you've already tested your web form, but your email marketing messages, let's say you have a 15% open rate, which is really, really, really good, especially if you're talking about a list of 7,000 people. 15%, that's 1,000 people opening your email message. That is huge. Um, the idea with email marketing is you're really playing the numbers, because a 15% open rate is massive. And then to actually get people to click, let's say just some way you're able to get 50% of those people that open your message to actually click through, because what your real goal and objective is with your email message is to drive traffic and send traffic to either an article about, for example, the MailChimp email marketing service, or to a sales letter, or to a product or a service review. Your goal, though, and one of the biggest mistakes, and a mistake I made a whole bunch of times, is actually trying to sell within your email marketing message. Avoid doing that. Please, please, please avoid doing that. If you visit danmoscowuniversity.com, I'll send you a comprehensive free report on the ins and outs of email marketing and your best strategy to get more income. It's not necessarily about getting just more leads. More leads helps you get more income, but you got to think big picture. Don't you don't need to worry about focusing on a bigger open rate if your increased open rate decreases your income. There's some key fundamentals and basics that I've spent years. I've been working online full time since 2006, using email marketing as a tool to help communicate these messages. And there's a lot of things I've learned over those years, and a lot of mistakes I made firsthand. So let me help you avoid making all those mistakes and fast track you to getting more income. This is really a great way to build a relationship with people that are interested in what you have, build a relationship with people that are interested in your information, establish your expertise, and do business. I'm sure you've received emails from iTunes, from Google, maybe your AdSense account, maybe your AdWords account. You get emails from almost every business you do business with, and you should. One of the best marketing guys I would suggest and encourage everyone to sign up for is Dan Kennedy. He has a really good newsletter, and I take a lot of the principles and the skills and the fundamentals that he uses with his campaigns and apply them to my campaigns. He's not the only one. There's many good folks with good marketing campaigns and marketing messages in general. Dan Kennedy's just one of my favorites, and I recommend that you check him out as well. Again, MailChimp's a great service. They just don't offer a few of if somebody's working there or knows some way to get them, tell them to do a sign up form testing. I mean, that is just such a powerful thing. I mean, we're talking about massive differences in just a 1% conversion rate. I mean, we're talking about massive numbers that this all adds up to over the course of some time. So I would encourage you, if you're new or have a low or a small email marketing budget, to start with MailChimp. My favorite, and what I use and will continue to use unless I find something else that offers these same features, will be Aweber. This testing form, I've discovered really some web forms just are terrible at converting into leads, and other web forms convert really, really, really well. So it's really a no-brainer. That is just so vitally important to be able to test your web form and see how well it's converting into people signing up for your list or your free giveaway. And the last thing I'm going to mention to you, and I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've probably signed up for it, and that may just be me, but anytime you see that sign up for our newsletter thing, that, in my experience, converts terribly. Terribly, terribly, terribly. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst converting headlines I've seen on a sign-up form. What I have discovered through my own experience, the best way to get sign-ups and get people to turn into leads and give you their contact information is give them something for free. Give them a free report. Give them a strategy guide. Give them an SEO guide. Give them anything that you have, but give them a free report. Just by giving them the free report, it doesn't mean they're actually going to read your report, but you're giving them something of value, something for free, rather than saying, hey, sign up for our newsletter where we can send you an email trying to sell you something. You know, nobody wants, nobody likes that friend that's always got their hand out trying to sell them something. One of the last, sorry, I lied, the very, very last thing is your ability to create a relationship with the people that are on your list will directly, there's nothing more influential that will determine the income and the revenue you're able to extract from your list. Because if you, every time you contact them, you're asking them for money or asking them to sign up for your product or asking them for to buy your service, eventually they're just going to stop opening your emails. They aren't going to care. They don't want to hear you. But instead, if when you communicate, you occasionally ask for money, you're a business, that's okay. You can occasionally ask for money, but instead talk about some of the neat things that are happening. Talk about some, send them to an article such as a review about the MailChimp email autoresponder marketing service. Send them a free email marketing strategy guide. Send them a page about, how does search engine optimization really work? Send them helpful, unique information, and you can also send them information that other people write. Like you could see, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but just as a random note, I heard not too long ago that Facebook business page posts are only spread and sent to 16% of the people that like your business page. This is how Facebook apparently gets revenue to get it sent to the full 100% of the folks that like your business page. You have to pay Facebook, I guess just standard and default. And this is just what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I have a feeling that some folks on my list would be interested in reading that article and knowing whether or not it's 16%, if it's 30%, or if it's the full 100%, or if it's 0%. Whatever the case, that stuff is of interest and is of value. Even if I didn't write it, it's something within that niche, within that concern. This is just like sending your friend a newspaper article clip out that you know is of interest to that individual. It's doing good business. You really want to build and strengthen this relationship, and the better relationship you have, no matter what you're selling, whether it's your product, somebody else's product, your services, or whatever it is, your list will, one, open your emails if they have a good relationship with you, two, actually read your emails if they have a relationship with you, and then three, they're a whole lot more likely to do what you ask them to do, such as buy your product or buy somebody else's product or read your post, your website article, if you have a relationship with them. And part of that's also answering, questions and providing some real, sincere, genuine services to people, and especially to people that have signed up for your email, your newsletter or your email marketing sequence or campaign. So we've got a whole bunch more tips. MailChimp's a great service. I do recommend it. I hope MailChimp does provide a way to test these web forms, because that's so huge. And maybe they do offer that in a paid account. If anybody's a little bit more familiar with MailChimp and the exact services and whether or not you can test your web forms, because without being able to test your web form, that's almost like well, for me personally, that was a deal breaker. That was like, okay, well, this doesn't seem real intelligent if I'm doing direct marketing and there's no way to test to see what works better and what converts better. Like, that's essential. And we were just looking at 1,000 visitors a day. Maybe that's a lot, but let's look at even just 10 visitors a day. You're talking about some massive differences. You're talking about being able to build your list potentially twice as fast, if not, 10 times as fast with a good converting lead form. So Check out MailChimp. You can go to MailChimp.com to visit their full website. You can also visit danmoskeluniversity.com and sign up for our email marketing strategy guide, and check out some other related articles, including a lot of tips about SEO and tips to building your website. And we also have some books. We're going to make another video here in just a moment. We have a couple books over at Amazon, and we just got into iTunes here this week. So check us out. That's Dan Moskel at Dan Moskel University. Please leave any specific comments or questions below, and have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for watching.